talk to you a little bit about how I've been catching my fish this spring. I've been fishing a lot. It's a beautiful day out today, but most days have not been so nice. But I've been consistently catching them one way, using one technique, and I have a lot of confidence in it, and I'm gonna tell you about it, and then hopefully it will help you out when fishing's tough, when conditions are tough. This is really my go-to way of catching them. So we got Kitex 4-inch, 3.5-inch, 3-inch. The 3s I'll usually reserve for drop shotting. I'll just nose hook them. They're excellent drop shot baits. Sometimes if I really want to downsize, I'll downsize to the 3-inch for bass, but mainly the smallest I'll go for bass is 3.5-inch is usually what I'll start with. And then once I catch a couple, I'll usually upgrade to the 4-inch. The 4-inch tends to get a little bit bigger quality fish than the 3.5-inch. What I use as a swim bait jig is these VMC swim bait jigs, and I pretty much just use notoriously the 1/8 ounce. You could play around with different weights. The 1/8 ounce is very versatile. You can fish it high in the water column, you can slow it down, fish the middle water column, or you can really kind of just kill it and let it sink, and then kind of just crawl it and fish the bottom portion of the water column. And the 1/8 you can do all three without a problem, really. The one thing that I will tell you about these is if the water is a little stained, what I like to do is I'll take one of these skippy fish markers, and I'll just draw a little orange on the tail, just the tail portion. But normally they're fine just out the box. It's not a big deal. The other thing I want to say is with these is that when you cast it out there and you start reeling it, don't just get into that monotonous, cast and reel, cast and reel, cast and reel. Most of my bites have come when I would reel, stop, and they won't come on that stop, on that pause. They'll actually come when you go to crank it back up and you go to make that first turn. Boom, they crush it. So pay attention when you cast it out there and you're reeling it, kill it, but then be ready, because as soon as you go to crank it, they're gonna hit it. The hookup ratio, the big reason why I use these pretty much all the time, is the hookup ratio is amazing with this technique. What I'll do is I'll cast it out there and I'll keep the nose of my rod down, and I'll reel and I'll reel and I'll stop, and then when I go to reel again and they'll hit it, my hook set is, a lot of times I'll just lean into them, or sometimes you react and you just kind of hook set on like a 45-degree angle, and it gets them roof, corner of the mouth every time. I think I've lost only 2 fish this spring. Out of all the fish that I've caught, I think I've only 2 became unbuttoned when they jumped and they spit the hook, and it was both smallmouth. So normally you set the hook on them, they're gonna go in the box. It's not a big deal. My setup, fairly simple. Spinning rod, spinning reel, braid to fluorocarbon. You can go 6-pound, you can go 8-pound, whatever you're comfortable with. I tend to use 6. Or tournament time, I'll tend to use 8 because I don't want to risk it. But it's whatever you're comfortable with. This rod that I'm throwing it on a Daiwa Steez compile rod. These are excellent rods, and a Shimano Stratic reel. The knot that I'll tie is the knot that I've been using this year exclusively, pretty much. I've gone to using just 2 knots now. I'll use the San Diego jam knot, and then I'll use the 3 tag end knot. Those are the ones I've had a lot of confidence in, a lot of success with. I haven't broke off on any fish yet, and I strongly recommend the 3-tag end knot for this technique, and I use it pretty much for all my techniques. It's a very, very strong knot, and it's really easy to tie. It's really quick, and I have confidence in it. I know when I cinch my knot, I know it's not going anywhere. I know it's stuck, and I don't have to check it. I don't have to double check it. I don't have to triple check it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. This setup here is excellent for cold water, bad weather, finicky bites. I've done really well with it, and give it a try, and hopefully you guys will too.